All right. Been a while since I made a video about the game. And honestly, this video is not really even about the game. It's about the tooling I made for the game. Um, which honestly will help me out a lot later. In making the game. But honestly, I just sort of wanted to show like what the fuck I've been doing for the past, I don't know, like I guess it's been like 2 weeks or something. Obviously I haven't only been working on this. I've also done some like refactoring in my code elsewhere. Um, but that's also not something that I can easily show. So I decided that I'll show you guys the tooling I made. Basically, this tooling is something that I made to address one of the issues that I was encountering when I was working on my game, which is that because I develop my actions, which are basically the spells or skills in this game, using a whole bunch of sub actions, um, I needed to sort of navigate and modify and like edit an array inside of the default Godot array editor in the editor inspector. Not very fun to do when it comes to more advanced manipulation and when you end up having a lot of different sub actions you can put in an array because like the array needs to be um an array of sub actions to accommodate all the sub actions, right? But if I end up having a lot of different types of sub actions, the drop down menu for the array, what was it? The drop down menu every time I want to add a sub action to the array becomes rather unwieldy. Um, also, like that was like honestly the smallest problem because realistically I could just use the file hierarchy on the left side of the Godot engine to just drag like the resource the sub action resources into the array wherever I wanted them, right? Um, so a slightly larger problem was that reorganizing like the sub actions inside of the array whenever I like change my mind, right? I want to move like this block of sub actions upwards earlier into the sub action array, or maybe this block of sub actions downwards later into the sub action array. This was actually very uh tedious and awkward in the default Godot array editor. Um, yeah, so that's one of the more um what was it larger reasons why I decided to make this tooling. Honestly, the largest reason why I decided to make this tooling is because in my game, in my actions, um, sometimes you need to like skip over certain sub action blocks just for the sake of logic, right? Um, when I do that, I would right when I do that, I would need to write like what index I need to skip to in the subaction array. But if I later on decide to modify the subaction array by deleting or adding a subaction, I would need to update all of those like index jumps, which obviously is not sustainable. So yeah, basically I ended up making a sort of I don't know how to call like a flowchart maps thingy here where I can just have my sub actions here, spawn them in, connect them. Um, let's see, we have multi jump, sequential jump, and like let's say I would make like some more stuff here. Like I'm not gonna go too deep in this. I'm just gonna use these interrupt sub actions as placeholders here, right? Something like this, right? Um, like in what was it before? If I was doing this in like the Godot editor, right? Um, I would need to say like, uh, yeah, this sequential jump here, it would jump to maybe like say 1, 2, 3, like index 3 here, right? And then when I finish over here, like index 4, I would have to jump over these ones. And I'll say, okay, so it will jump like, I don't know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it will jump to 7, right? And then this would need to jump to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would need to jump to 5, and then yeah, very tedious to do. And then as soon as I don't know, decide maybe I wanted to add something that happens back there, right? Like I don't know. I mean, like obviously, not really what an actual action would look like in my game. But like, let's say this we just happen to interrupt placeholder here. I wanted to add that, right? Then all these indexes would change. I need to change like this jump. It would then be like 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to jump to 4 here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to jump to 6 here, and then this will need to jump to like 8 instead of like I don't know, like 7. It would be completely messed up. But my current tooling here basically just lets me do whatever I want here. And then when I want to export this as an action, like I feel like I'm done with this, I can do Control S. And first of all, it will ask me to store like what I have here, which is like the flow map in a folder. And I can name it anything, like I don't know, for now I'll just name it test, right? And then if I want to export this as an action, like I'm ready for this to be something that I can use in game, then I will just like say like I don't know, export as test as well here, right? Um, this won't ask me anything, because there was no file named like test inside of either of those folders. But now, if let's say I want to save again, and I want to save it under test, right? Let's say if I wasn't saving um this sort of floor map, and I had like another floor map open, right? And I accidentally forgot that I had a test for the floor map already, and I want to save it as test here. It would ask me, oh, actually, there's already a floor map like this. Do you want to override it? And then I'll be able to say like whether I want to override it or not. And you know, the same thing like over here. Like if I do like tests for both of these, there's a file that exists for both of them. This one is like, okay, there's an action that already exists named that, and also okay. And if I say yes, I want to override this action, it would then ask, oh, there's actually raw data or like the floor map that's already named this as well. And then when I click cancel on either of these, it just won't save it. Um, and yeah, so I mean, also like another nice thing about this is like right now some of my uh sub actions have been becoming quite large when it comes to the amount of options I need to set. um but you know, like if I just set all these to whatever, right? um like obviously this makes like no fucking sense, but whatever. um then I can just spawn like however many of these that I have preset, right? I don't need to like set the same thing over and over again if there's some stuff which has like pretty similar logic. Um, and also like after it's saved, you see it's in this drop down actions menu. It automatically updates. I don't need to like reset Godot or anything. I just like, let's say I save this as test 2, right? It closes it and then it opens, and when you open it again, it has test 2 in there, right? Um, and yeah, uh obviously this drop down menu doesn't have like the capability of um moving these like files around. I think I will just defer to Godot when it comes to that. If I do want to like organize this stuff after I've made like some actions, I can just go back to my file system in my Windows or Godot and just drag and create folders and stuff. I don't think it was worth the effort to do that, to worth the effort to like sort of make my own like deletion and stuff like that. uh there should be, yeah, like I can drag this around easy peasy. Like I can select multiple and drag them around. I can select multiple, drag them around. But I did discover a bug where, oh, actually this also works. uh huh Wait, I'm confused. There was a bug. Wait, hold on. Maybe it's because, no, that is that is really weird. Also, the left one there kind of moving way more than the other ones. Don't ask me why. Uh, I didn't say the system was perfect, okay? But yeah, so I can like select multiple, drag them around, multiple, drag them around here. Like no, really. And also I can zoom in and out, and yeah, I guess I'll show you guys. what I made here when it comes to the resource. I still need to set this wrapper after I finish, but whatever. Yeah, it just does this. It says next subaction index, next subaction index. This one, the next subaction index actually isn't used. It uses the jumps and only the jumps. So you can see like these jumps are also set properly, and then like these, yep, and then this jumps over to 8, so like it doesn't like hit these ones as well. And honestly, yeah, it all works out here. I mean, anything else I need? Oh yeah, yeah. Honestly, huge pain in the ass was that dude, like the way I had like implemented my code here for a very long time. Whenever I like export something, um, under the same file name. So basically, I was exporting the action and overriding. Like maybe like if I export test again, right after I modified the flow map for test and I exported it, this resource would still show the same old subaction list until I restarted Godot. But you know, like I sort of spent a couple, maybe like an hour and a half looking at that and sort of figured out what my problem was. Right now, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I figured out most of the bugs that was sort of still around when I decided to drop it about a week ago because I felt like I was spending too much time on it. Yeah, hoping that this will help my workflow a little bit. Otherwise, I will have wasted quite a lot of time. But I think it looks pretty good right now. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Also just wanted to add, I don't know why I was closing or deleting the stuff weirdly in the video. Like I don't need to disconnect the stuff before I click X here. I can just click X here and it'll work fine. And also like I can like leave this like floating stuff here, and although I have not tested this, I think it should be fine for me to export this as test. Yes, yes, it works fine, and I don't think this should be like. Although actually, I'm not sure what happens if the sequential jump index is like missing uh a connection when I save. I don't think I've ever done that actually. Um, uh, 5. Oh yeah, it just yeah. Okay, yeah. It works. It works fine. It just jumps to nothing. No problem. Yeah. All right.